If you're in your 20s or you've just entered your 30s, what I'm about to tell you will help shed light on this phase of your life. The author Robert Greene has a very precise and brutally honest theory about what you should be doing in your 20s. And spoiler alert, you're probably doing it wrong, or you already did everything wrong. Write in the comments how old you are and whether you think you're investing this time wisely or wasting it. I want to hear your opinion so we can discuss it, and so I can give you some advice. Today, people think of their 20s as the years when you're supposed to just have fun. But in reality, these are the years when you are literally building the foundation of your future and of your entire life. Your 20s are the best years of your life. You're young, you have energy to spare, you're physically well, and you probably dress decently too. The world feels full of infinite possibilities, and in a sense, it is. But here's the crucial point most people don't understand. These years are not meant only for fun. They are meant for building. They are your apprenticeship for everything that comes next. You need to start looking at your 20s as the period when you must learn solid, truly useful skills. Skills that no one can ever take away from you. We're not talking about vague soft skills or finding yourself in a new age sense. We're talking about real abilities that will require years of practice, frustration, and dedication to master. Because according to Greene, when you reach your 30s, and this is the critical turning point of your life, you should be able to look back and say, yes, I had fun, I had adventures, I traveled, I lived, but I also learned everything that allows me to live with dignity today. I have solid skills that I developed over many years and that I now truly master. This is where many people make their first mistake. They think they must choose a single path and follow it in a straight line. Maybe you join a big company, earn good money right away, and follow the traditional route. But by doing so, you're not expanding enough. You're not developing the diversity of skills that will make you unique. On the other hand, some people make the opposite mistake. They try 1,000 different things without ever going deep into anything. At 30, they end up with a resume that looks like a puzzle with no final image, scattered experiences that don't connect, and no real mastery of anything. Greene is very clear about this. You need to find balance. You need the freedom and fluidity to explore different interests, to have adventures, to avoid being too rigid. But at the same time, you must go deep. You must choose 2 or 3 areas and seriously commit to mastering them. And here comes one of the hardest lessons. Learning a real skill requires you to endure boredom, frustration, and discomfort. Hours and hours of repetitive practice, failures, and moments when you want to quit. And this is a huge problem for your generation. You have everything at your fingertips. ChatGPT, giving you instant answers, videos explaining everything in 3 minutes, immediate gratification everywhere you look. But real competence doesn't work like that. You can't hack the process. You can't skip the boring hours of practice, otherwise you will never truly master anything. If you don't develop the ability to sit with frustration, to keep going even when it's boring, you'll never learn anything truly deep. And you'll reach your 30s with a lot of superficial knowledge but no real mastery. Nobody needs a person who's all talk and no substance. Greene tells the story of Paul Graham, the founder of Y Combinator, and it perfectly illustrates his point. In the 1970s, Paul was one of the earliest people to enter the field of artificial intelligence. He was a brilliant programmer and earned all the academic credentials required. But then something interesting happened. He got bored. Programming had become monotonous for him, and instead of forcing himself to continue down that path, he made a bold decision. He had always been interested in painting and design, so he left everything, went to Italy, and enrolled in an art school in Florence. He spent a year studying painting. Then he returned to New York as an artist, living in a poor loft, struggling to get by. And one day he heard on the radio that Netscape was considering the idea of using the internet to sell products, Today, this sounds obvious, but in the early days of the internet, nobody sold things online. E-commerce as we know it didn't exist. And at that moment, Paul had a realization. He had top-level programming skills, but he had also studied design. He knew what was aesthetically pleasing, and he understood how to create visual experiences. He was perfectly positioned to create something no one else could. He built one of the first tools for creating websites where businesses could sell products, and Yahoo bought his company for $10 million. From there, his career took off. But the key point is this. He combined two seemingly unrelated skills, programming and artistic design, and from that combination came a unique opportunity. If he had remained just a programmer among millions of programmers, he would have been replaceable. If he had remained just a poor painter, he would have struggled forever. But that combination made him special. This is the strategy Greene wants you to understand. In your 20s, you must build a set of different skills that you can later combine in ways no one else can replicate. It's not enough to be good at one thing. You must be good at 2 or 3 things and then find the intersection point where those skills merge into something new. But every single skill requires real time, at least 7 years, to truly master it. Not 6 months, not 1 year. Years of deep dedication. Greene also talks about Steve Jobs, and he is a perfect example of how this philosophy plays out in the real world. Jobs wasn't the best programmer. Wozniak was far better than him at that. But Jobs had studied design, taken calligraphy classes, and was obsessed with aesthetics. He was fundamentally an artist who understood technology. His true skill was creating products that were beautiful to look at, pleasant to hold, and intuitive to use. He combined art and technology in a way no one else did. But Jobs' story also teaches another crucial lesson. Your career will never be a straight line upward. And if it is, you're probably in trouble because it means you're not taking enough risks. Jobs succeeded with the first version of Apple, then was fired from his own company. Imagine being kicked out of the company you founded. He could have given up. He could have said it was over. Instead, he founded Next, which was technically a commercial failure. His career kept going up and down like a roller coaster. But every failure taught him something. He was learning that he couldn't treat everyone badly and expect things to work. He was understanding what he had done wrong and what he could improve. And when Apple called him back in the 1990s because the company was failing, he was already in his 30s, late 30s, and had accumulated all these lessons. He was ready for his triumphant return. He completely transformed Apple according to his vision and created the products we all know today. This is the point. If you are bold, if you try new things, you will fail. It's inevitable. But those failures must not destroy you. They must become lessons for your next project. You must iterate again, move in a slightly different direction, and apply what you've learned. Successful people are not those who never failed. They are those who failed, learned, and kept going. So when should you know exactly what you want to do with your life? Greene says it's good to have a general idea of what you're passionate about when you're 18 or in your early 20s. But if you're too specific, too focused on a single project or business at 23, you're limiting yourself. You won't have the freedom to explore, to have adventures, to learn different things that might later prove crucial. The age when everything should start coming together is around 30. That's when your different skills begin to merge into a clear direction. Your 30s are the key years of your life, especially the late 30s. But you can only reach that age from a position of strength if you used your 20s well. If you built solid foundations, if you developed the ability to tolerate boredom and frustration, the skills required to become truly good at something. If you took risks, failed, learned, and combined skills in unique ways. The truth Greene wants you to understand is this. Your 20s are not just for having fun. Have fun, of course, live, travel, fall in love, make mistakes. But while you do all of that, build, learn, go deep, become a master of something. Because when you reach 30 and look back, if all you have are memories of parties and trips, but no real skills, you're in trouble. But if you have great memories and concrete abilities, you're in an incredibly powerful position. Youth behind you, mastery ahead of you. And that's when your real life truly begins. If you made it this far, thank you for your attention. Let me know in the comments how you're using your 20s, or how you use them if you're older now. I'm curious to hear everyone's story. See you soon.